Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Gray, and we're just plain living here.
Hi, John. I'm Peggy Burton. How are you?
I'm doing fine, dear, and you?
I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine.
Are you involved in March Madness?
March Madness. I've been involved in it for several days.
Every March.
Yeah.
Well, both Tennessee boys and girls are in the Sweet 16.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, so good basketball. I really don't pay a whole lot of attention to basketball except during March Madness because it's fun.
Yeah, and everybody's playing. And
everybody's playing, and there's usually an underdog that shows up and beats somebody and
that's exciting.
upsets. Oh yeah, it's always fun. I'm always for the underdog.
Right, me too.
You know, speaking of dogs, there was a little book, and I told you about it last week. I feel like that I won a Grammy.
Good. You deserve a Grammy.
Or no, not a Grammy, an Oscar.
An Oscar.
An
you
Oscar,
deserve that too.
Because my sweet sister-in-law gave me this book a couple of years ago.
Yeah, you mentioned that.
The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. And this is a delightful little book that was written by a retired gentleman and illustrated by him. And it's so, and there's a mole involved, and there's a little mole, and the mole says, well, hello. And the little boy says, do you have a favorite saying? Asked the boy. Yes, said the mole. What is it? If at first you don't succeed, have some cake. I see. Does it work? Every time.
Every time it works.
So it's a sweet little book, and it won the animated short subject movie of the year.
Great.
And I saw part of it.
It's so simple, but it's simple, but it has a message every time.
Oh yeah, and look! He even.
Oh, he did music.
He even wrote a melody to go with it. You know, so it's about going through life. We don't know about tomorrow, said the horse. All we need to know is that we love each other.
Sweet, yeah.
You know, it's just a magnificent little book. So if you want to give somebody a really nice gift, a feel-good gift, put love back in where hate has been, folks.
That's a
good
line.
Give love.
Put hate back in, love back in where hate has been. That's nice.
Keep moving the sticks. That's in a song of mine.
Keep moving the stick, right.
Keep moving the sticks. So,
have you written anything lately?
Yeah, I'm writing all the time.
Okay.
I write all the time.
Do you have a certain time of day you write? Do you plan to write, or you just?
I don't, and most writers say that you need to do that. You need to have a time that you structure yourself.
To sit down.
Because that gives your mind an idea that, okay, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Because the more you do it, the easier it gets for inspiration to come.
I think it's sort of like playing the piano. It's not going to happen if you don't set a time every day and practice.
Yeah.
And I think almost all activities deserve being practiced. And if you are a writer and you can set a time, I know you can't always do that, but
no.
If you can, I think it's valuable.
But what I tell young people is you can never read too many books like this.
Right.
You can never listen to too much music.
Never.
And you can never watch too many movies.
Well,
because the people who create all of those things are all genius. And they leave little nuggets. They don't even realize are inside their works. That the whole thing is I don't feel like I have to set a time to write because the more I've done it through the years, I listen to everything. I'm looking and listening because I write when I find one of those nuggets.
Right.
That two words go together and they just slap me in the face and go, this is a great hook line.
Right.
This is something you can develop. And so I'm always listening
that
for
works
that.
with songs, poetry, books.
Yeah.
It's great inspiration to find a hook.
You know, if that slaps me in the face in the middle of the day, I stop what I'm doing and
write it down.
and write something down. And one of the most important things you can do if you're a writer is when you do have that idea, there is something in your mind at that point that makes that idea important to you.
So write it
So
down.
whatever's going through your mind, you might not be able to flesh out a whole piece of work, but you can put down the ideas around that came to you at that instant.
And you ought to always have a pencil and a paper right
Sure,
beside
oh,
your
yeah.
bed, so in case you wake up in the night and want to write something, you
Or
need to
one of
do
those
it
little
then.
microphone
Right,
deals.
that works. Or your
And
phone.
you turn it on the next morning and you go, this is a wonderful idea. Or you pick up that piece
And you
of
start
paper
writing,
and
it
it's
just-
got 3
it
words and
drizzles off.
then there's ink running down the
Right.
page. You
I
know,
know.
so who knows? But
I've done more writing than you might think.
Yeah,
Yeah, I used to write all the time. I would, my whole entire history when we traveled in the days of military, I wrote almost every day. Now, I'm sorry I quit, but it's neat to go back and read it because your memory won't hold everything.
Right.
At least mine won't. And it, you know, you see what was going on.
sure. You know, and I had a gentleman bring me a book, Rich Ellis, who is the head man out at Harton Hospital, Vanderbilt, and Rich has been in charge out there, you know, for a while. And he walked in the back door one day and he said, I think you're going to enjoy this, and handed me a book. And he was on the way somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it's There's Nothing Left But the Shouting is the name of it, and it's an biography about a guy named Rick Bragg who was brought up in poverty and ended up being a Pulitzer Prize winning writer, and ended up at the New York Times.
And isn't it interesting how some people go through poverty, heartache, despair, tragedy, and they come out on the high side of it? Then there's others
Yeah,
that sink with it, and I wish I knew the magic that it takes to make it go positive every time.
and he lived down below the Tennessee line in Alabama or Georgia, about 100 miles south, and he's like 10 years younger than I am.
Yeah.
And the way he describes how he lived is so different from the way we lived in Tullahoma at that point. But he was living in poverty, and his father was a drunk, and his mother had 3 baby boys, and she picked cotton like a man. She dressed like a man.
Yeah.
She worked like a man.
He worked like a man.
For those boys. And in the beginning of the book, he's a baby riding on the back of a cotton sack
Yeah.
that was around her neck as she was going down the
I
roads
picked
picking
one
cotton.
time, made a nickel.
Yeah.
I was real proud. I was about 3.
But he was very proud, and still proud of his mother and what she went through and what she sacrificed for her children.
Yeah.
And he saw the beauty in this book. As a matter of fact, I ordered a book, a hardback copy for myself.
Because you
It's
were so
that the
impressed.
book is that important.
Yeah.
To me, I want it on my shelf. I want it part of my library.
I watched an interesting thing last night on Little Richard. It was
Yeah.
it was on Facebook. It wasn't on the TV, but he was being interviewed, and it was some time ago. He was young, and he talked about how he had 10 or 11 brothers and sisters.
Oh, yeah.
And that he was the only pretty one, and I love that. And he said, I believe that everybody has the right to say and do whatever is in their heart.
Sure.
You know, it's a free country. And he said, the reason I became famous was because I invented rock and roll. And I said things like, whoa, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah, oh, yeah.
a lot of things he said, Babaloo Baba Bay or
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah, yeah.
you know, he did a lot of that, and he became famous for it. But it was a real cute interview. I was proud
But
of Little Richard.
the time
Yeah.
there was just, that was a time when music was exploding
Yeah,
away from the 1 or 2 things that there was.
right.
There was country, old style Western swing country. There's a little bit of blues, and then there was classical music.
Exactly.
And then
And
New York,
jazz
then
in
New
New
York pop type stuff.
He said he played piano at his grandfather's church.
Mm-hmm.
And he would go into all this rock and roll stuff, and his grandfather thought it was just fine because he was getting more money. He'd pass the hat.
It's all about the money. It's
He'd
always
pass the
about
hat
the
one
money.
more time.
Always about
While
the
he
money.
played. Anyway.
So,
I love Little Richard. He
yeah,
was a
but this
cool
book, Rick
individual.
Bragg, they call him in a lot of the places where he has been and written as the minister of misery,
Yeah.
because he goes and looks at the impoverished, and he remembers being there, but he also remembers the beauty of having any roof over your head instead of none.
Instead of none.
And he said one time in there, he said Saturday, or he said breakfast is the greatest meal of all because it's cheap.
Right.
We had a hog, not hogs, a hog.
A hog.
We had a couple of chickens, so we had eggs, and we had pork, and we had biscuit.
And they had chitlins, I'll bet.
And and his mama would make gravy, and he said, even to this day, there's no meal in the most elegant restaurant that tastes better to me
Than breakfast.
than that meal.
Yeah.
The way my mama fixed it. And so he came through a very, very tough time and found the beauty in it. And so as he wrote about tragedy, he wrote from a stance that nobody else
could, yeah.
which elevated him to a Pulitzer Prize. So, speaking about writing, real quickly, I'm going to read one out of the Easter Omnibus. We have a lot of guests today. So I'm going to take you to, last week we read of Burrow and Boughs and Two Pieces of Wood. This one I like very much. It's called The Sound of Salvation. And what it is, I decided to write this from the perspective of the sounds
The sound.
that you heard during the week, during the time of Christ coming through. The sound of salvation. There were many sounds on the road to Calvary. The rustle of palm leaves beneath his sandal feet. The sounds of betrayal uttered in Gethsemane. The cheers of the crowd when they set Barabbas free. The sound of sobs and weeping from those that lined the street as the weight of the cross he bore drove him to his knees. The sound of the hammer as they nailed him to the cross. The sound as he begged forgiveness for all that were lost. The sound of the storm God sent to end this deed. The sound of fear and the sound of desperation's pleas. The sounds of loved ones' whispers as they walked him to the tomb. And the Christ they loved and worshiped was sealed in a room. Then between the sounds of prayers and tears, his voice found its way in. Above the grief and sorrow, they heard his words again. I will rise again. So they went to the tomb on the third day and heard the sound of salvation in the silence of emptiness when the stone was rolled away.
That's pretty sad, but nice.
Silence resonates as a sound because there is none. So we'll be right back after these messages.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to.
When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
He's a little bit of you, he's a little bit of me. He's the trash along the roadside of Tennessee. He's the garbage that we find. He's the dream we left behind. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. A throwaway bottle or pop-top can may not seem much to a traveling man, but a little bit of litter goes a long, long way. I grow and get bigger every day. Tennessee trash messing up the highways. Tennessee trash jogging up the byways. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. We have met the enemy, and he is us.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared. But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research, and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective. Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back today, and we have all kinds of activity around the studio. It's always fun on a Tuesday morning about 8:30 to a quarter to 9 to be over here and see just who pops through the door. And this morning we have our mayor, Mr. Ray Noyes, is in here with us, and he's here, I am sure, to talk about some of the wonderful things that are happening in Tullahoma.
Well, John, I could talk about a lot of wonderful things that are happening in Tullahoma, but I got one thing on my mind, particularly this morning, I want to talk about.
Okay.
With the improvement in the weather, not counting the last day or two when we've been down in the 20s, but for the most part, springtime is arrived. We've got a lot of people who are doing their exercise walking.
Right.
Walking and jogging, and they're using our city streets to do that. It's fine, except many of our streets are narrow, they're winding, hilly, poor sight lines, and it's quite dangerous. So I want to encourage those people who are using our city streets for their exercise programs to be particularly cautious when they're walking on streets that have no shoulders, no place to go when cars are meeting each other. I had an incident a month ago that brought it home to me. I was driving home on Ovoca Road, which is narrow, no shoulders, and it was at dusk, late dusk, just before dark, meeting traffic. Lights were in my eyes, and just as I met a car, there were two joggers facing me on my side of the street.
Where they're supposed to be.
Where they're supposed to be. However, there's no shoulder for them to
Right.
get off on. And I'm blinded with oncoming traffic. They did not have on reflective coating. So I would encourage those who are walking, particularly in the evening hours, to please wear protective clothing, reflective coating, and the life you save may be your own.
Yes, and in coming that same way, I sometimes come up Marbury Road and then go across and come out by the church, by
Hillwood.
no, what is the Baptist church there?
Grace Baptist.
Grace Baptist. I come out that street by Grace Baptist. That's a thin street, but when you go up through there, it's dark, and a lot of people live up there, and they'll be walking, and like you say, they'll be walking at night wearing dark clothing, and it's really hard. You go, sometimes you'll be looking at a car coming, like you say, and all of a sudden there'll be somebody there, and you'll think, I could have hit them.
Oh, it shook me. It just made me sick
Right.
because it was so close to. Now, of course, it's a tragic accident for the person who might be hit. It's also just as tragic for that person who's driving the car that hits that person.
Oh, heavens, yes.
That affects them it's so impactful that, so it's two lives that are impacted. So,
Right.
So that's something that I just want to influence as much as I possibly can to encourage people to be careful.
And, you're running down the street because you've got a kid down the street. And you're going to get the kid because it's supper time. And it's dusky dark outside. You still, and a lot of people can't afford reflective clothing. Put on a white shirt, a t-shirt. Put something on that's not black or navy blue. Something where you can be seen. Even if you're just running down the street to get the kid. Sort of like saying, well, I'm not going to put my seatbelt on because I'm only going a half a mile. Well, guess what? In that half a mile is when you might get hit.
That's correct. So just, I guess my thoughts this morning are reflective of that incident that happened to me, but it could happen to anyone.
Yes.
And it's not just the person that's maybe hit, but it's that person that's driving the car that has a significant influence on them as well. So be cautious.
And I was thinking about it the other night because there are streets in this town that were built when cars weren't this wide. Some of these big trucks and some of these SUVs are huge, and they can hardly pass two of them pass each other without hitting a mailbox or knocking a mirror off.
Correct.
So it's there's not a whole lot of room on some of the back streets.
And that's not because we have bad streets or anything.
No, that's
like
the way
that.
they were
It's
built.
Just because that's the way they were built, and we can't go in and 4-lane every street in town.
No.
We can't pave every street in town, but we've done a great job with the city's budget for paving streets. We've done a good job of getting Cedar Lane paved, and I've had an awful lot of positive comments about how nice it is to drive Cedar Lane now and not have the potholes and the bumps that we did have on Cedar Lane.
Tires knocked out from under your car.
That's correct. So, and we'll be doing our budgeting coming up in the next month or two for next year's for paving, and we'll be getting more of our streets paved. But one of the things that's going on is we have increases in prices so much that it's really impacting us. When we were doing the Wagner Street bridge that was washed out, we had started getting bids on doing that, and I thought it was going to cost about $150,000 to get that fixed. Now with the 3-year delay in getting that done, it's costing $300,000 to get that done, and it's still not done. So
Right.
So how can you forecast the kind of inflation we've had in prices for construction, for particularly for road systems and anything that has to do with oil products,
Right.
asphalt and so on. So we're really impacted significantly by that, but we're just trying to take that into account. With our city finance director, we'll come up with a budget again this year. We'll try to include some reserves for price increases, but that's one of our challenges is to, and nobody wants to talk about increasing taxes. I don't want to talk about increasing taxes. And it's been suggested, well, we're going to have to raise that. No, when I was managing a business, I knew what my revenue was going to be. I knew that was fixed. If my expenses exceeded that revenue, I couldn't go in and change the revenue line. I had to figure out a way to control the expenses. So
Right.
that's what we have to do in city government, is to figure out a way to control expenses when we know what the fixed revenue is.
Well, and the thing about it is, we're going through a time right now with planning, and there's a lot of people that don't want a housing increase in Tullahoma. They want Tullahoma to stay the way it is. Well, a housing increase also brings about taxes that allows you to compensate for some of those rising prices. If you don't have taxes from new businesses and normal housing growth, then the taxes are going to have to rise at some point.
Let's don't talk about raising the tax rate. Let's talk about increasing the tax base.
There you go.
That's increasing the number of houses that we pay property taxes on, increasing the property tax on businesses that we have. Just increase the base, not increase the rate.
Sure. No, that's what I'm saying. If you don't increase the base, you're going to have to increase the rate.
Well, that's what Ray Norris as mayor is all about, is increasing our doing economic development that helps to increase our base. And with that, we talk about what's going to happen in Tullahoma as far as growth-wise.
Sure.
Tullahoma is going to grow.
Sure it is.
We need to plan for that growth. We need to anticipate that growth. And we need to not simply say we want to keep things as they are, because developers are going to find a way to supply the need. When the need is there, the houses will come. So we need to plan for that base to grow, and so we don't have to increase that property tax.
That's right, because if they don't get built here, they will get built in the surrounding area, and we won't have any advantage from those tax rates because they won't be in Tullahoma.
Well, Tullahoma will grow. There's no
Yes.
question that Tullahoma will grow. So let's just plan for that growth rather than just let it happen.
You got it. You got it. Partner, thank you for coming.
Well, it's been
and
my
thank
pleasure
you
this
so
morning.
much for your service. And I know we've had some tough sledding here over the past couple of years, and that happens in society, small society, big society. But how many people can say they live in the 23rd most sought out city, small town in the United States of America? Not many.
I'm right proud of being in Tullahoma.
I am too, and people need to realize that didn't come because of this group of politicians that are running this town. It took a long time to get us there, and it was through growth and change through the years. And we can't stop that growth and change and continue to be as successful as we are.
Let's continue to make Tullahoma the 20th instead of the 23rd.
23rd. Second in the state, better than Franklin, boy.
Absolutely.
What do you think about that?
That's great.
We're better than Franklin. We'll be right back.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
Okay, here we go.
3, 2.
3, 2, 1.
COVID-19 has been a really long and difficult fight.
So when we start talking about COVID, I completely get it. It's frustrating.
We've all been impacted one way or another.
The fight against COVID is also changing really quickly.
And it's sometimes really hard to keep up.
So here are a few things we know.
We are not fighting the same virus from 2020.
Right now, new variants are a lot more contagious and need to be taken seriously.
Getting vaccinated and staying boosted is the best way to keep you protected from COVID-19 and help you stay out of the hospital.
Even if you got COVID before, it's important that you go get your COVID booster.
COVID vaccines are safe.
Much safer than getting COVID-19.
We all want this to end sooner than later.
So go ahead and do things.
Go out and live your life, but get vaccinated. Stay boosted.
We can all do our part.
And get back to living. You can go to getvaccineanswers.org for more information.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
You know, the good just keeps coming. And I hate to say this, Mr. Mayor, but this young lady right here is a whole lot more attractive than you are. But you did good. But this is Hope, and Hope's here with the Chamber of Commerce, and it's always good when she comes in because she's usually talking about good stuff too.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. And are we getting ready to eat?
Oh, my goodness. Yes, we have a lot of exciting things coming up, and I'm going to work through them a little quickly because
you got somewhere to be.
I do. We have a ribbon cutting. We have to celebrate a local business this morning, and so. You know, we do have our Taste of Tullahoma and Business Expo coming up on Monday, March 27th. It's going to be from 4 to 7, so you have a good reason to kind of sneak out a little early and say you've got a chamber function to go to. It's going to be at the Tennessee National Guard Armory that's on Carroll Street.
So that's a week from yesterday.
Yes, sir. Yes,
this next coming Monday.
Yes, yes. So if you are looking for something to do, bring your children, bring your family. Kids 12 and under get in free, and we have some activities for them. We have a bounce house, and then for mom and dad, there's 15 different restaurants or beverage vendors to sample from. And so, you know, we have your local favorites. We have E-Mills, and we have the seafood place, Publix, their delis coming on site, and then, you know, some of our beverage distributors like L&H Distributing and Cherokee will be on hand, and then Coca-Cola. And so, like I said, there's a little something for everybody. And there is a bakery joining us this year that has drummed up a lot of excitement in the office, and so we're really excited about that as well.
Where are they located?
They are based out of Manchester.
Oh, okay, very good.
Blessed Be Bakery, but they are joining us.
I've heard of that.
Yes, and so, like I said, so many exciting things that are happening, and just invite everybody to join us. So you get all of that for only $15. If you were to think about going to a local restaurant and having all these samples of foods plus full-size beverages, I don't think you could get that for $15.
Oh,
and so
that's for two, that's $40, $50.
Yes. So, and then, like I said, there's tons of networking plus the business expo that's on site. So we have all these local businesses that are showing off and showcasing, and so we're really, really excited. Not to mention, we have 55 booths, and every single one of them has a door prize to give away. So you're going to get all of these samples.
You might get something.
and a door prize and some entertainment for your family. So we really just invite everybody to come join us, and have to thank our sponsors. Coffee County Bank sponsored this year, and then Master of Ceremonies is returning as a sponsor, and they help with all the setup and the event itself. And so just really, really grateful to our sponsors.
Well, and we're talking about the, now this is to be had at the
Armory.
The Armory.
So it's an indoor.
The new Armory.
Yes, sir.
Not the old one.
Nope.
Because there's a lot of us
fairly-
old guys that went to that one to go to camp and go to different stuff,
Wow.
you know, so when we were involved in that.
Yes.
So
And we
it's the new one.
appreciate your service.
Thank you.
Yes. And I appreciate everyone who has served.
I'm glad I did.
Mhm.
Glad I did. Because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for our military. And, excuse me, but you think about it, $15, you can't go get a sandwich and a drink for $15 somewhere.
No. Not to
And-
mention a couple of sandwiches. Speaking of sandwiches, City Sandwich is joining us.
Are they?
They are. They're joining us. And so is McAllister's Deli. So if you like sandwiches, we've got.
They're there.
Yes.
They're there.
Sandwiches and a little
and
business expo, some swag.
some swag bags. And I'll tell you what, this will give you, this is one of my sort of, excuse me, stump things is we all need to learn what's what's behind the doors of our businesses.
Yes.
To where we can, if we pass a stranger or a visitor on the street and they say, what are you looking for? Well, I'm looking for so-and-so. We the citizens need to know where so-and-so is.
Yep.
So you can educate yourself about some of the new businesses, have a great, enjoyable time with your family and kids, and walk away with some swag for $15.
Yep. John sold.
We're selling here.
He's going to be there.
No reason why you can't go. And while you're out there, I guarantee you, if you are a plain citizen, not a business, and you want to understand what goes on at the Chamber of Commerce, you can be an individual member. And that allows you to know all the ins and outs of our new or established businesses, who's changing, what new products are out there, what's going on in town. And it's just a simple little yearly membership fee for an individual.
I think John wants to be on the payroll.
Hey, I'll take a buck from anybody.
Yes.
Now, you girls run, excuse me, y'all run too fast for me.
We should be sponsored by all the coffee shops, because
Yes.
we operate on a lot of
A lot of
caffeine
coffee.
in our office.
Well,
But so we have that happening on Monday, March 27th, and then March 28th is our March Chamber Coffee. It feels like we just had a Chamber Coffee.
Right.
But we are going to have that at Brookdale, and that's where we welcome first-time visitors. We welcome new members, and they get an opportunity to give an elevator pitch. We have an active engagement of at least 100 people that attend these coffees. And so if you are looking to meet people and network, meals are usually provided at these, a lunch of some sort, door prizes. You know, it's free to attend. We invite you to come join us and network.
If you are involved in Tullahoma, if you're not just somebody who works their day and goes and sits on the couch and doesn't get out, but if you're involved in Tullahoma and want to find out what's going on and be a part of the incredible thing that's happening here, you can probably get 2 free meals a week. There's some place going on where you can eat free at least once a week.
You know, we have definitely figured out ways to engage people and attract people to the event.
Yeah,
And so beverages and meals and prizes, you know, there's a formula.
There's
a formula to
There
it.
certainly is. We'll even bring out a green stamp book and trade it in if you need to.
And you know, one final thing that I really wanted to touch on and highlight that we are also working on right now is our Women Impacting the Community event. This is where we celebrate women in 4 categories: business, community service, education, lifetime achievement. SmartBank is our title sponsor for that, and then Wooders Diamonds and Design is our award sponsor, and Vanderbilt Tullahoma Heart and Hospital is again sponsoring the finalist and a guest. So the people that we are honoring and celebrating, their ticket is covered. They get to bring a friend and celebrate that special moment.
That's
and
wonderful.
so nominations are open on our website, tullahoma.org. And again, thank you so much to SmartBank for that sponsorship. And this year, the event is going to be held at the Atlantic, which is a woman-owned business here in Tullahoma. And so we're so excited to partner with them for this great event.
Well, I'm glad to, I watched them painting and I kept waiting. Is there going to be something under Atlantic? Is there something else is it going to be at the Atlantic something?
I think it's
And
venue.
it's just the Atlantic, which I think is really pretty catchy and pretty good. So that's great.
Yes.
Downtown, bring it all downtown. We're downtown.
Yes.
We can go right over there and film that from right here.
So we are really excited. That event's going to be on Tuesday, May 9th. Tickets
Good.
are on sale, and we're accepting nominations.
Very good. Y'all just do a great job. Go get to your next place.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
She's like an ant and a skillet. She's ready to go. But she's always full of great information when she's here. And all the other girls and guys from the Chamber of Commerce, they do a wonderful job promoting Tullahoma and helping us remain the great little town we are. So give them plenty of thanks for that. And we'll be back after these messages.
I want to invite y'all to come by Clayton's, downtown Tullahoma. We try to serve the community, the area, and we try to help people with their feet and comfortable shoes. We still measure feet. We have a great new arch mat. We have insoles. Please come see us at Clayton's and let me help you find some comfortable shoes for those achy feet.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton's Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
STEM is everywhere. Like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker hordes.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat, with John and Pat, with John and Pat.
Hello everyone, I'm John Rickman. And this is Pat Welch, and we're here today, John, for segment 54 of the Conversation with John and Pat. It's been pointed out by production that we now have over a year's worth of shows. In fact, this will be 2 weeks past a year. 52 weeks in a year, John. This song I'm going to sing is based off of a Bible verse, 1 Thessalonians 4:16, and it was written by Mr. Black back in 1893 when the roll is called up yonder. But let's, whoa. The song was written by Mr. Black. The verse was been written by the Apostle Paul. Well, I'm not going to argue with that. But it wasn't written just the way, but it transcends, the message comes through the chorus. Oh, that's... Well, I'll have to read and make sure I'm correct on that. When the trumpet of the Lord shall call and time will be no more, and the morning breaks eternal, bright and fair. When the saved of earth shall gather over on the other shore, and the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is
caught up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is caught up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is caught up yonder, when the roll is caught up yonder, I'll be there. Let us labor for the Master from the dawn till setting sun. Let us think of all His wondrous love and care. And when all of life is over and our work on here is done, and the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, when the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. That's a good old song.
That is a good song.
Been around
John.
a
long time.
Since 1893, but you said, the New Testament does, it was first.
Correct.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
We're talking about the first Little League state championship team, and that occurred 1984.
82. Was it 2 or 4? 4. 84.
84.
Yeah.
I've got an article here, and we'll mention the boys on that team in the first row. Temple Bowling, Wayne Bird, Danny Riddle, Stacy Smith, Tracy Smith, Todd Branch, Patrick Cushman. Back row, Coach Jackie Revis, Chris Rickman, Sean Elrod, Vondell Hickerson, Gary Phillips, Craig Revis, Ted Farrell, Clyde Petty, and manager Charles Riddle. Great team. They went on to the Southeastern Conference play, I believe it was in Florida, St. Petersburg, I think.
Yeah.
And they were a great team. Jackie Revis is, of course, a great coach. And you and I can do his voice pretty good, can't we, Pat? When we really concentrate. Yeah. And Pat, he's a great Christian man. Good man. So fine, and has a lot to do with your FCA here.
Though he lives in Murfreesboro in Florida now, anytime that Fellowship of Christian Athletes has an event, and we had a fundraiser, I guess 3 weeks ago now, he blew in there like a Tasmanian devil and emptied his pockets, I can tell you that.
One person I'd like to make reference to, and Pat and I will talk about him a little bit, is Charles Riddle over there on the right. The gentleman, a little taller than Jackie. And he is absolutely a gentleman. His wife passed away, and then Ann Danewood, husband, passed away, and Charles and Ann married.
You would have known Ann because Ann taught at East.
Yes, she was.
While you were over there, she was a great lady.
But something about Charles Riddle that some of you may know and may not know, that he had 4 sons. And Danny, third from the left on the front row, is his son, Danny, number 11. And but he had 4 sons at one time, and there was a tragic automobile accident in Tullahoma where he had 3 sons killed. Those 3 sons. Danny was the only.
They were parked or stopped at a stoplight, and somebody came about 70 or 80 miles an hour from behind and hit them without braking and killed them. Horrible tragedy. In fact, when they went out, Danny was planning on going with them, and right at the last minute decided not to go, or he would have lost all of his sons.
I guess what we'll talk about here is how a man keeps going with his faith no matter what.
Yeah, we can. He and Ann, I went to church with, and Charles is quiet, real steady kind of guy, and I taught and still teach high school Sunday school and have for a while, and I had a lesson coming up, and the guide wanted me to find somebody in the church that had faced a lot of tough situations, but as an influence to your students, had not overcome it, but been able to live with it, and has faith and strengthened him during those times. And so naturally I thought about Charles. I called him up, and he seemed fine about it, and said, well, we need to have you there at 10:30, Charles. He said, I'll be there. And he said, this is the first time I have done this, but I believe I can do it. So next Sunday, 10:30 came, and there wasn't any Charles, and about 10 more minutes later, there wasn't any Charles. So I called the house, and Ann answered the phone, and she knew what was going on, of course, immediately. And she said, Pat, he won't be able to come. And I said, I'm so sorry. And she said, well, he left, but he got about halfway there and was just overcome with emotion and had to come back. But I told my class, most of which this class normally meets between 2 services, and I go to early service, but most of the class being teenagers goes to second service, and Charles and Ann did too. And I told my class, I said, he can't make it, but I'll tell you as a living testimony to this man's faith, I bet he'll be there in about 20 more minutes. And sure enough, he came in there, and then it made a dent on my students, and he never had to say a word. Yeah. Great guy, and great family, great people.
What more can you say after a story like that? Yeah. And I hope someone that sees this maybe will pass this on to Ann and Charles. And let them know. They're
living in Nashville now, I believe. In fact, I have not seen them in 4 or 5 years, and this is going to make me try to seek them out and check back with them. Yeah,
that's good. That's segment 54, Pat.
54 is a somber one, but one that we hope strengthens people. And if management will let us be back, we're coming back for 55. Thank you.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
The Bookshelf in Tullahoma is the fundraising arm of the Coffee County Literacy Council. Since 1988, the Literacy Council's goal and purpose has been to support and promote adult basic education in Coffee County. We enable individuals to complete their high school equivalency exam, which helps them get better jobs or continue into higher education. The Bookshelf at 114 Southwest Atlantic Street in Tullahoma is where we sell used books, which are donated to us by the community. Come see us, bring your books to donate, and join us as you find every genre of books that you can imagine.
I had a knee replacement, so they've got me in life care, which I'm very, very thankful for. I couldn't garden, I couldn't do my flower beds, I can't chase my little dogs. I have been in several therapy sessions for knees and back, and that's the best therapist I believe I've ever been to. It's tremendous because I'm able to walk again, but if it wasn't for the care, I wouldn't be where I am.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
Parkview Senior Living, active, independent senior living at its finest.
Do you love sports? Then you should know about STEM. Because maximizing nutrition, analyzing peak muscle performance, calculating the perfect shot, and more are all made possible by science, technology, engineering, and math. In fact, there are more careers than ever in sports science. So if you have a passion for sports, then think about getting involved in STEM and improve everyone's game on and off the field. Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back. I have Greg Russell with me today for 5 minutes off he has, and he came in here to talk to me about Into the Woods. I'm so excited about that.
We are too.
It's
going to be a
opening
great
this
show.
weekend.
Yes.
So get your tickets.
Yeah, it opens this weekend. I've had several call me and say, okay, what's Into the Woods about? It's a Sondheim production, which is very difficult. It's very exciting, and you will enjoy it from start to finish. But it's a fairy tale about ever after, and you will see lots of characters you recognize, like the baker and his wife, and they have a curse put on them by the witch, and they're going into the woods to find the items that they have to find. And when they do, they come across Cinderella and Cinderella's prince and Rapunzel and Little Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf. And so lots of characters you'll recognize as a part of this show, and just a fun backstory on many of them.
And it's not just for children, because it's a fabulous production.
It is definitely a fabulous production. It's all adult cast. This is an adult production, not a children's theater piece, but certainly great for all audiences.
That's right. And the price, you need to go on. There you go. Go to southjackson.org tickets, or call and make a reservation. And the tickets are $20 if you buy in advance. If you give at the door, they're going to be $2 more. So go ahead and get your reservations.
And there are some student price there too. I think they're 18.
18
for students.
Good.
And but if you have any questions, always call the office. They will take care of you.
I'm sorry you got sore throat.
Yes, this allergy season's got the best of us.
You're directing this?
I am directing.
And that's a lot of it.
With Kristen Carroll.
Great.
She is our assistant director and a fabulous asset. And so, yeah, we are enjoying it. We've still working hard probably every night this week.
And
getting
it will
ready,
open
so
on
we're ready
time?
for you guys. Yes, it'll be this weekend.
7 o'clock?
7 on the Friday and Saturday, and 2:30 on the Sundays. But we'll be on the 24th, 25th, and 26th this weekend, and then the 31st, 1st, and 2nd.
2 weekends. Great opportunity to see a great show, and we've waited a long time to do this.
Yes, we have. We wanted to do this show for a little while, and so don't wait to get your tickets. We've had a lot of great things happening at the Performing Arts Center, and big sellout shows, 2 or 3.
Right, that's wonderful.
Issues now in a row where we've been selling out on tickets since Christmas, and so we're very excited about that.
Some of the characters I know that Samantha Waters is playing a role in there. What are a few of the other characters, if you can name them?
You have Heather Kleinfeld.
She's another fabulous actress.
Yes, she is the baker's wife. The baker is a new talent to us and to our city, Jordan Romero, and you will be glad you came and seen that. Amy Beckstead is the witch.
Very strong actress and singer.
And Anna Bondmaster is Little Red Riding Hood.
Oh, sweet.
And Skylar Wanamaker is Jack and the Beanstalk. I didn't mention that earlier, with Jack and the Beanstalk. And Michelle Rowe is his mother.
So you've got a fabulous cast.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible. I've told them that it's the best group of voices that I've ever put on the stage. From all the years, even in Nashville.
That's awesome.
This is the greatest group of voices I've ever put on stage.
A lot of voices have grown out of South Jackson Performing Arts Center, and we're all proud of that.
Yeah.
And it seems like they get better every year.
Yeah.
And
when you think about it, I mean, community theater is where Broadway is birthed.
Exactly.
I mean, that's where people get their start.
Where they get their start.
They begin in community theater, and some that is exactly all they want to do. But some use that and get their skills tuned, and then they go
on to New York and they make it.
And they make it, yeah.
And that's exciting. I mean, everybody that appears on our stage, to me, appears very confident, and I think that comes from having such a great program in our community. We have a lot to be thankful for, because as they grow, it gets really, directing gets easier every year because they've been trained.
Yeah, there are aspects of it.
I know there are
certainly.
times when you think it doesn't get easier.
Yeah, there are certainly aspects, and
so much work.
And even beyond that, I mean, for the set build, we had a lot of great help this year building the set. I mean, we've got some incredible artists that are just, visual artists that have come in to paint and make sure everything is the way we need it to be. So.
And we're about to have new bathrooms at the Civic Center.
We are. We've got new bathrooms coming in. They are getting closer. They will not be ready before Into the Woods.
Yeah,
but
we were
maybe sometime
hoping.
after
We were
that.
hoping. I know you've heard us say this several times, but it's not always easy to get supplies these days. We have to wait and follow all the codes,
Yes,
but that'll be wonderful when they get built.
It will be. It will be great, and we're looking forward to a lot of exciting new things, and still working on our capital campaigns drive with the auditorium in our restoration process, trying to restore the floors, new stage floor, new seats downstairs and in the balcony, and that is going very well. If you're interested in helping, you can purchase a seat in honor of someone's name or in memory of someone. You can also send birthday wishes, or you can become a member of the 1922 Club. And that is an exciting new thing that we've began, and we hope to have more and more people.
And that's
be part of
in
that.
honor of was the building opened in 1922, is that correct?
1922. The
When
auditorium.
it was a school, I guess.
It was. The auditorium and the wings of that were built in 1922.
And I think it's fabulous that it's still standing, and it's an iconic place here in our community.
Yep. We call our campaign the next 100 years. So,
Right.
So it's been preserved for us. We're trying to preserve it for the future.
It's a great way to get your income tax lowered a little, is to give to a tax exempt organization like
Absolutely.
South Jackson Performing Arts Center, and anything you give is very much welcome.
Yes, it is.
$10, $15, $100, whatever.
Yes.
And if you want to be a sponsor to something, we're open to that, aren't we?
We are. We have plenty of opportunity for all size businesses to become involved and be a sponsor. We have a great clientele and a large group of people that receive our information, and so we'd love to let them know that you're a part of us and that you are helping and you're a sponsor at South Jackson.
And I have to say, for a chairman, you do you have many hats. You're directing a show, or you're running this, you're getting money, you're doing so many things, and we're so proud to have you at the head of South Jackson Performing Arts Center. We call it that now, don't we?
Yes, we do. We have many DBAs, but that is definitely the one. That is who we are.
And I'm
we
sure
are
the
Performing Arts Center.
museum will be open
It will be.
this weekend, and there's always things to see in there. So go in. Money is brought in if you go in and sign up and look around.
Absolutely.
Greg, I'm going to let you go and take care of yourself.
We will. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. We'll be back.
Hi, my name is Ringo, here at Barkview Senior Living. They're human friendly. That's why I love it here, and so does my senior human. When they want a bite, they get chef-prepared meals, and so do I. Movies in the theater, day trips, walks on the trail, and other senior humans to play with. The grass and the grounds are exquisite. It's everything my human needs to be healthy and active. Barkview. A Parkview Senior Living. For your dog's best friend, you.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is vaping? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes. Look at that. You even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you got to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
To the left. To the right.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
We teach Parkinson's patients how to move big and not let the Parkinson's slow them down. I've had patients I've treated in-house that could not even stand up, could not roll over in the bed, left the facility walking with a walker, have come back to us in outpatient and continued their big program and are now completely, handling life. The success of the program is just phenomenal.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old. But I am a camping influencer. You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back. I'm here with Mary Ann. Mary Ann, I never remember your last name.
Scott.
Say it again.
Scott.
Scott. How easy that is. I can't keep it
Mary
all.
Queen of Scots.
Oh, Mary Queen of Scott. Now I'll remember that. I lived in London for 3 years and I got excited about all that. But we're here today to talk about veterans, Vietnam, and March 27th? 9. See, I can't remember anything. Tell us about what's going on.
Okay, well, you have 2 for 1 in me today. I represent the Daughters of the American Revolution
And that is
Tullahoma chapter.
Wonderful.
I'm currently the chairman of the committee that looks out after various commemorations. And I'm also chair for the Veterans Service.
And you do a fabulous job.
Yeah. And I'm also representing the GFWC Centennial Women's Club of Tullahoma.
Good.
Those 2 organizations have some overlapping interest.
Yes.
So what I'm here to talk about today is an event to thank and honor the Vietnam War veterans. There was a law passed in Congress in 2008 that established a committee, a commemorative committee, to look into how to erase some of the
Some
pain
horrible memories.
from a very, very tragic, uncomfortable part of our history.
It was. It makes me cry when I think about when they came back. They were not honored. The people yelled at them, and
Yeah.
that was sad.
They were not treated well at all.
No.
So this is an attempt to say we did not do that well. We do want to honor what you did and the sacrifices that you made.
Oh, yes.
So the commemorative committee was actually established in 2012. And the Department of Defense was given the responsibility to see that it went from, and this is called the 50th anniversary of the
50th
Vietnam.
anniversary.
So it started in 2012, and March 29th was chosen
as the
because that was the last day that troops were on the ground.
In Vietnam.
That everybody left out of Hanoi
Yeah.
by that date. So it continues on until Veterans Day in 2025.
Wonderful.
So
Yeah.
in 2015, the Tullahoma chapter signed up to be a commemorative partner. The Department of Defense knew that they couldn't reach all the 7 million
people that
living
served.
people who were involved in some way in the Vietnam
Right.
era. So there are commemorative partners all across the states. Some of them, like this, there are DAR chapters. There are veterans organizations that are commemorative partners.
And are you all doing an event
Yes.
on that date? And where
Yes.
is the event?
It's going to be at South Jackson Center.
I thought so, but I didn't want to say it because I never remember if I have it right. Because I come every year. I love it.
Yeah.
And I
Well,
love that you do it.
I wanted to give you just a little bit of background.
Good.
In 2015, we became a partner, and the first event that we held was in cooperation with the city. And there's a commemoration flag that has a lot of symbolism to it related to that event. And we had a speaker, and it concluded by raising a flag, the commemorative flag, that flew over the city hall for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
So since then, we've added partners in this event. The American Legion chapter post 43. We've had help from the Tullahoma High School Junior ROTC.
And they do such a beautiful job. I'm
presenting
so
the
proud of
colors.
them. And do you have the band, some of the band people come and play, or is that just for another day?
That's for something else,
That's
but
for
we
something
have
else.
had a student who would come and play taps for
Yeah.
us.
That's always touching.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, it's a wonderful thing to do. And have you ever seen the real wall in
Yes,
D.C.?
I
Is that
used-
did bring tears to your eyes?
Yes.
It certainly did mine. And I know your husband served. Did
No,
he not?
no.
For some reason, I thought he
No.
did. I thought that was maybe why you were as involved as you are. Did you?
No.
You just love the military and have chosen to always honor them.
Yes. And speaking with the second hat, the GFWC Centennial Women's Club of Tullahoma became a commemorative partner last fall.
Good.
So at the event, a week from tomorrow,
Right.
we will be giving out lapel pins.
Good.
For the veterans who show up. So if you know a veteran,
Invite them. And it's what time of day?
it's at 2 p.m.
2 p.m. on the 29th.
On the 29th.
And that's
We're having it outside unless it rains. And
I
then
know
we'll have to go in.
It's nice to have it outside and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So put that on your calendar, and especially invite your military retired or serving or anyone you know that wants to come and honor these wonderful men and women that served our nation and got little recognition when it was over. And they deserve all the accolades that the other
Yes.
service people get. And of course, you're honoring everybody that served or chose to serve. And I appreciate that. And I'm glad you've got help from the Centennial, and what was the other club?
GFWC Centennial Women's Club of
Yes.
Tullahoma. And
They do a lot of good things.
Post 43, American Legion, and of course the city. The mayor won't be able to be there, but one of the aldermen will read
Will
a
speak.
proclamation.
Will you speak?
Yes.
You might.
I guess I have to.
Yeah. You always do such a good job.
Well, thank you.
Oh my goodness, our time is almost gone. Marianne, it's so nice to have you here, and so
Thank you,
dedicated
Debbie.
to what you do, and for people that deserve every accolade in the world. We'll be back with other things.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. 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 Woo.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff. Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size.
Yeah.
Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Moment. It may be a few more than just a moment, but we're happy to be here again and share some news and some hysterical and historical facts about good old Tullahoma, Tennessee. I saw in the paper the other day where one of the beautiful old homes was being raised on North Jackson Street, the Freeman and Wooten House. And Tullahoma has had some beautiful homes back in its history. And on North Atlantic Street, that the first and second and third block of Atlantic Street, some big homes were built before the turn of the century that were built by railroad executives. And since there weren't a lot of good transportation at that time, the railroad office building was in the 100 block of North Atlantic next door to the First Baptist Church, and that was the railroad office building that the executives walked to work, and they lived in the first and second and third block of North Atlantic Street. The picture I'm holding in my hand here and sharing with you was a home that was built at 308 North Atlantic Street, and another one was next door to it at 312 North Atlantic Street. And there was a banker here by the name of Hickerson that had two daughters, and they were going to marry brothers, the Wrought brothers, Minnie and Alma Hickerson. And they married brothers, and their father gave them their residence, these beautiful homes there, as a wedding gift. And they were built in 1894. And the homes were right next to each other there, and they were 2 stories. Both of these homes had a full basement. It was always dry. They were heated by grates, not stoves, but fireplaces or grates. They all had hardwood floors and beautiful marble fireplaces with beautiful wood and staircases, hickory and oak staircases, and the downstairs ceilings were 14 feet high. The upstairs ceilings were 10 feet high, and the attics in both buildings were fully sealed, so that you could even have extra space in the attics if you wanted to. This home was bought by my grandfather, W.J. Daddy Bitty Couch, in 1904, and because the Wrought brothers had left Tullahoma and it became available, and just by coincidence, Dr. Charlie Crouch from Springfield bought the house next door from the Wroughts, and about that same time he moved here from Springfield. And the Couches and Crouches were neighbors for many, many years. The houses were built by a wonderful builder, I think by the name of G.W. Stegall, that hand-selected every piece of material that went in these homes. And if you'll notice, there's a picket fence around this house, and the picket fences were around almost every house in Tullahoma to keep their stock in or keep other stock out from their yards. But it was a beautiful home, a comfortable home. There's stained glass windows on the front, and it's just been a wonderful, wonderful part of Tullahoma's history. And quickly, here's what the home looks like today. It doesn't have a fence around it, doesn't even have the woodwork on the front porch like it used to, but it's still there and still a real good home. And this is to say that this is not the end of the story, as somebody else says, the rest of the story, because we're going to be back with some more wonderful things to share with you in the history of Tullahoma. And thank you for watching.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, Peggy, you asked if I'd written anything. I wrote this piece right here I'm going to share with y'all in 2014. My buddy Tim Daly did a demo on it and forgot about it, and his wife was cleaning his computer out.
And found it?
And found it and sent it to me, and he's just tickled to death. He's going to go to the studio, take it to the studio. It's called Something Good Going On. Everything seems upside down. Have they all gone mad? This might be the worst week this world has ever had. There's fighting everywhere. Can't we just get along? As for me, I'm headed home. Something good going on. Something good going on when I hit the door. Smell of supper cooking. Kids in the floor. Boss weighing my pound of flesh. Don't even know I'm gone. He's got his share, I'm going to where something good going on. Like Odie Lee sitting with a baby in his lap. Uncle Bunch fly catching on the front porch as he naps. a double lemon wedge in Teresa's cold iced tea. The glow of dawn in your hair right there next to me. Yeah, there's something good going on when I hit the door. Smell of supper cooking, kids in the floor. That boss man weighing my pound of flesh. Don't even know I'm gone. Well, he's got his share. I'm gone to where something good going on. Well, there's something good going on just waiting there for you at your mama's kitchen table on a Sunday morning pew. A new melody under a live oak tree. The music's not all gone. The race ain't done. Here comes the sun. Something good going on. Something good going on when I hit the door. Smell of cup of cooking. Kids in the floor. That boss weighing my pound of flesh. Don't even know I'm gone. Well, he's got his share, I'm gone to where something good going on. Let the talking heads go to bed with everything that's wrong. I'll spend my time trying to find something good going on.
That's cute.
Now, there you go. How's
Thank
that?
you, John. That was fabulous.
Something good going on. Look for that in your dime store within the next 5 years.
Well, you know, you should be looking for something good going on at
Yeah,
all
always.
times, right?
Always.
'Cause
boss weighing my pound of flesh don't even know I'm gone.
I know it.
He's got his share.
That's right.
I'm going to where something good's going on.
I love it.
Odie Lee's sitting with a baby in his lap. That was my granddaddy's name, Odie Lee.
Oh,
and his
okay.
brother was Uncle Bunch. And Uncle Bunch would be on the porch in the summer and he'd be sound asleep with his mouth open, flies buzzing. Fly catching, Uncle Bunch. Hey, we've enjoyed being with you today. Hope you've learned a few things and had a little bit of fun. We sure have. And we'll see you the next time.
And have something
Bye-bye.
good going on.